Well, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be kind of backwards and not what we normally do, but in true incompetent outdoorsman fashion, a lot of things went wrong and a lot of video wasn't made, and some of the video that was made didn't have any audio to it. So hence I'm doing this interview for you guys now. So this is kind of the story and the explanation of what happened with me killing my buck this year. I was able to come up the second weekend of rifle season and with Hayden for well, he was only able to stay up for a couple of days. We went up on a Saturday, he had to go back Sunday, but I was going to stay for 4 days. So didn't see anything on Saturday, and when Hayden went home that evening, I did see the buck that I eventually killed. I was kind of surprised. I wasn't really ready, didn't have my gun ready in any good position, and I was sitting in on my grandpa's food plot and his box blind, and I was actually watching the Vikings game and ended up looking up, and he came out into the food plot. I'll try to put up the video here so you guys can kind of see what's happening, but he was looking right at me, looking past me. It was really hard. Like I said, I didn't have my gun ready, didn't have anything set up, and he ended up not liking whatever was going on. Maybe couldn't see the buck that he thought had grunted at him, so he kind of took off into the tall grass and ended up stopping there where I couldn't get a shot off at him, and he ended up running away in the woods, which I didn't make a video afterwards because I was pretty upset, thinking that that was probably the only chance I was going to be able to get to see or shoot a buck this year. So I was pretty upset that that's how it ended and I didn't get a shot at it. So fast forward then to the next evening. I got out early that day, expecting or hoping that the buck was going to do the same thing that he did the day before and end up in my cousin's food plot and kind of work his way down. And so I got out a little bit early, tried to get ready for him, and didn't see him. Was spending the rest of the evening, and I didn't see a deer, didn't see anything else, and having only one more day, one more morning really left to hunt, I was pretty down, thinking that I wasn't going to see anything, wasn't going to get anything, and I ended up looking over at my camera and seeing that it only had like 6 minutes of battery left. So I just ended up turning it off because I only had a half an hour left of shooting light before the evening was done. And when I leaned forward to shut my camera off, I shut it off, and when I looked out in the food plot, there was this buck, and he was about 70 yards away, and he's just on the side of the food plot eating. And so I got my gun ready, got up, got on him, and of course as soon as I do that, he turned directly away from me, so I didn't have a shot. And in hindsight, it actually worked out pretty well because I was able to realize that I had enough time to go and turn my camera back on, and so I was able to turn the camera on and get some footage that you guys can watch now. So obviously I knew I made a good hit on him. I heard him fall, and I was by myself, so I decided to get down while I still had a little bit of light left and try to find blood and try to find some hair at the shot location. And because all I had was a kind of a crappy little headlamp with me at the time, so I left all my gear in the stand, went to try and find it, and I couldn't find any blood, any hair, nothing. So I kind of had an idea of where I heard him crash and fall, so I just kind of ended up walking into that little center section between the gas line and the power line, and just kind of started making my way towards where I heard him go down, and ended up finding him.
All right, guys. So I got down, and I was actually having a little bit of trouble finding blood, just because it was so dark out. But I ended up walking into the center section here, finding him, ran back to grab the four-wheeler, which now is not working. As soon as I get it all the way out here, now it doesn't want to start back up again, so that's gonna be fun. But I got the location on my Onyx, so I'm just gonna walk you guys into him and show you what I got. Oh, here he is, guys. This is gonna be my biggest buck to date, which is pretty exciting.
As soon as I pulled up to the blind, my four-wheeler died, and I couldn't get it restarted. So I just kind of gave up on that and went back to my deer and gutted it, got it dragged out to the edge of the woods, and went back, tried to get my four-wheeler start. It started, and I drove it to where I had the buck, but of course as soon as I pulled up to the buck, it died, and I couldn't get it started again. And I had to pick up our tractor, 1940 something tractor that we have here, and I got that thing started and had to putt my way with that all the way down to where I had the deer. And on the back of it we have a brush cutter to help mow food plots down and trails and stuff. And I just ended up dragging the buck and putting it right on to the top of the brush cutter and then driving the tractor back. So I got him back here, hung up on the meat pole, and like I said earlier, I had a video set up of the day after I shot the deer, and I had him posed up, and I did a quick little interview there with the deer of this same thing, just going over kind of what happened and what the process was. But of course somehow I screwed something up and there's zero audio to it, so it's just a few minutes of me sitting behind a deer just talking silently. So that's why we're doing this video.